New tonight, dense fog canceled flights for days and out of Marquette Sawyer Regional Airport. TV6 senior reporter Jerry Tudor spoke with the airport manager about how the delays and cancellations impacted travel during the busiest time of year.
Friends and family finally reunited after 4 straight days of very dense fog canceled flights in and out of Marquette Sawyer Regional Airport. Today, Delta landing 2 additional flights to help alleviate some of the congestion. Dwayne Duray is the airport manager for Sawyer. He says it all came down to safety.
One of the components that you got to think about is safety, and that is a critical item that the airlines and 99% of the aviation industry that operates has to comply with. And that's relating to visibility standards and ceiling heights.
Duray says the Federal Aviation Administration has standards for visibility and cloud ceiling heights, but this fog was so dense, flying, and especially landing, was not safe.
The minimum visibility and ceiling height that we can operate out of are 200 feet above ground level and a half-mile visibility. Unfortunately, for the last 4 days, we've been experiencing quarter-mile visibility and 100-foot ceilings.
With the cancellations coming over the Christmas weekend, some travelers have been waiting for days to return home or leave. Both carriers that served Marquette Sawyer added additional flights to catch up with the backlog.
American Airlines brought in 2 flights, 2 aircraft to accommodate passengers that have been displaced and to make up flights that were missed. And that's 4 days worth of flights that were canceled with American.
Delta's makeup flights landed this afternoon at Sawyer. Jerry Tudor, TV6 News, KI Sawyer.